All right, welcome to Podcask at Home. I decided to wear a Podcask t-shirt today so that you too, if you are watching this and do not own this fancy t-shirt, you need to purchase it to prove that we are supportive of those that we blatantly stole the idea from for this fun. So week number 3, and how is everyone today?
Good. Great.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here with you people now. That's
Amen, brother.
Yeah. Cheers to that one. So
now, Ian's got the podcast hat on.
Yeah.
I've got the yellow corn shirt from Whiskey Weekend.
It's all good product placement. Oh, there's another hat. Jason's got a hat on.
Variation B.
We are well branded.
We are Podcask to the max, which is awesome.
Nat's still drinking out of her Kentucky Owl glasses. So.
Well done. So, Ian, do you feel guilty yet for serving us an 80 proof mixed drink last week for the win, or are you still good with
Not at all. Not at all.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, did you hear from anyone from that? A couple of my buddies were not shocked. Like, they got partway through the show, and I don't know if they're just good at watching movies and figuring things out, but they got halfway through and they're like, oh, Ian's going to do something Canadian that has a bunch of stuff in the States. It's like, well, not to give it away, but yes, that's exactly what he's doing.
Well, what you titled it kind of helped that. Yeah.
That's marketing, man. I'm trying to draw it in. Did Ian cheat? I leave it up to you. Technically, no, since we didn't really put that in the rules.
Our rule book is a little vague right now.
That's a fair.
Or what is it? Hashtag rules with
rules with a Z.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm starting to understand why Will and Grease started implementing more and more rules.
Yeah.
You gotta avoid having cough syrup with coffee and Copenhagen served to you in a wine. So
sorry.
And it winning.
What is everybody pre-gaming a little bit? What are you drinking for pre-game? It is single barrel tonight, by the way, which is I'm excited for this. Although since we did finished, which wasn't all high proof, followed by under 90, which definitely wasn't high proof, I think tonight is going to be a lot of heat in the samples tonight, which should be good. So pre-game for you, what do you got, Ty?
What did I end up pouring? I'm worried about tonight because I poured 2 things to pregame and I thought they both tasted like crap. So I'm a little worried about my palate. The first one was Weller Special Reserve and I was like, this is horrible right now. I can't drink this. So then I tried some 1792 sweet wheat and we may be getting my palate warmed up, but I'm pretty sure like 3 days in a row, I consumed more alcohol than water by volume. And so I could be shot.
You're on a fishing trip. Weren't you morally obligated to consume more whiskey than water?
At least alcohol. At least alcohol.
Gonna work. Ty, what do you got? Or Ty just answered. Ian, what do you got?
Well, it's single barrel, so I went with Blanton's, just the straight regular Blanton's. But as Ty mentioned the other day, this one's delicious. Usually, I'm not a huge Blanton's fanboy, but this one, I don't know. I just cracked it, and it's fantastic. So, yeah.
Jason, Nat.
We decided to set the bar high. I started with a couple of samples out of the box that have been sent. The first one, Nat is drinking a little known bourbon known as Boomtown 5.
Oh, yeah.
To get that single barrel going, Knob Creek might be a chance.
Really good.
And then I did the same. There's Travis sent me a sample of a Knob Creek pick from Barrels and Brews called Green Monster.
Okay.
So thanks, Travis Gentz.
Oh,
so we're going Knob Creek single barrel for science.
A 120 warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a little like mind game with the Knob Creek.
Possible. All things are possible. I've got an Eagle Rare single barrel, so it's a pick for the state of Kansas, which I don't know exactly what that means. I think that means the distributor just decided not to give a single barrel to any one store kept it for themselves. But
Didn't you say
it's
that
pretty
one
good.
sucked?
What's that?
I thought you said you didn't like that one.
I don't, usually not a huge Eagle Rare by itself. So I wanted to try this because it was a single barrel, and it's okay.
And it's single barrel night. So,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So,
I will.
and
I
it
will
wasn't
say
something
this.
that was like crazy. It wasn't going to mess up the palate in any direction. So, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
What
I
was
will
that?
say this, that Corey, if you put this in your sample, you will win. I don't know if y'all had a chance to try the
So
Boomtown 5, but it's
freaking
absolutely
Boomtown 5?
glorious.
Yeah.
Glorious.
That's pretty good.
Apricot jam. It's like straight up, it's delicious.
Yeah, when we've been able to pick those, so we've done 4 Knob Creek bourbons, 1 Knob Creek rye, and a Medley Brothers. So it's always interesting to have a group of like 10 of us try to pick, because it never works out right away. It's always like there's 3 samples and like, okay, well, get rid of 1, and then we'll get down to 2, and then we'll figure it out. When we picked Boomtown 5, it was that was a heated discussion. What we tried to negotiate buying 2 barrels, because there were 2 of them that were really close, and Knob Creek won't let you do that. So yeah. And then there's always the big guess of what it's going to be like when it comes back, because when it comes back, it's you don't know how many bottles you're going to get. So we've had anywhere from 160 bottles come back to 72, which was like next to
wow.
yeah. It's a fun adventure. If you haven't, do it. It's a fun gig. All right, so
Ian gets the order.
Oh, yes.
Champagne. So you get to choose the order.
Well, I put a lot of thought into this. I actually have. I've been thinking about this for a while.
It does not shock me at all.
And I'm kind of nervous, because if somebody did throw in a low proof like myself,
You go.
then when do you go, right?
Right.
But I think Ty hasn't gone first yet. So we're gonna go with Ty first.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go with Jason second.
Oh.
I think you've been second. Were you second last week as well?
Yes.
I'll do Jason second still, and then Corey will be third, and then I'll be fourth. As Ty said, clean up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it may backfire on me, but we'll see.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, so much sticky tape on this tie. I
know.
appreciate your commitment to it not leaking.
That's why you open it off screen.
Oh, I see. It's like you do like shows for a living or something.
No.
So I sent my samples out to the podcast boys, Will and Degrees, and I'm hoping they show up this year. We'll see.
Yeah, Corey roped them into doing the last sample with us.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Will was like really quick to be like, yeah, I think that's a cool idea. I mean, I told him, it's like, hey, you don't have to try to like figure something to send to all of us, because that would be fairly crazy. But I was like, we can send you ours, and then you guys can jump in as guest judges. It'll be fun. It'll likely get out of control, and we won't be able to keep ourselves from laughing the whole time, and it'll be great.
That'll be perfect.
It will be. I think that a caveat to that week is you have to drink all 2 ounces that night.
And we cannot do that on a Monday.
or
Tuesday.
Corey, was that your buddy's suggestion, where you do doubles?
Doubles for
sent,
Boom Whiskey that we sent. We sent 4 ounces, and then
shoot it all.
It seems dangerous.
I feel like just with the category of Boom, there's going to be
there's going to be some weird stuff in there. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of alcohol involved.
Not all of us are going to walk away from it, I don't think.
Yeah, it could be.
Well,
if Grease doesn't walk away, I'll feel like mission accomplished.
Well, he would certainly drink all the samples. We know that. We've seen it
in one shot.
in one time. Yeah.
Infinity did.
Infinite.
Oh, could you imagine that infinity at the end of the day?
Mm.
You could sell it as hand sanitizer.
Well, I threw an 80 proof in.
And I say good luck to you, sir.
Yeah. I just hope I'm first.
Ooh, finish on that's good, Ty.
You know, the nose.
Natalie, what nose do you get? I'm playing quiet, but I want to hear
Green
thoughts.
apple and pear.
Yeah,
Really?
I would have said green apple in a second. Yes.
Oh.
You get a lot of honey.
Yeah, that's
I get honey and like caramel
Sweet on
and
the finish.
super. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a hard time guessing proof on these. I know already.
Yeah, I mean, I know the proof on this one, but I'm not sure that's going to give me a good gauge on the rest of them. Corey, you're not supposed to be quiet when it's not your
Sorry. So when it's not my turn, I know.
turn.
I was trying to get oak notes on the end of it to see how old I could feel it was, but I don't get like a ton of, like sometimes the older single barrels, they have that oak note that kind of like, if you wait, it like turns kind of at the end. You get like that tannin note.
No,
And I don't really get a bunch of that.
I really like this.
I got some floral notes and oakiness with a little bit of bitter at the end.
Jason, you've been quiet.
It's good. I'd be happy to have a bottle at my bar.
Yeah. I have a guess, but I'm going to save it.
So it's a super confident guess, is what you're saying.
Maybe some citrus.
So I think it's a Four Roses
Like
single barrel.
I think it's
peel?
Four Roses as well, but
Yeah, Four Roses single barrel is what I threw it there. I don't know. I've only get one yeast strain up here, so I have no clue. But it's got like Four Roses written all over it for me, which I love.
It's like Natalie's notes mirror Four Roses, floral, citrus.
mm-hmm.
And that finish reminds me of Whiskey Weekend in the Owl Tavern, drinking those picks, Dixon's picks. That it's got that mouthfeel to it, which I really like.
Not a ton of heat, like something that's like a, like a 120, 130, something like that.
I think I got heat on the front end just because we're just starting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's too hot. I think it like maybe like again 110 at the highest. I think maybe 104, 107, something along that line. But I don't think it's too crazy.
I will say I got this pick, fresh cracked it, and it was right as we were kind of doing the blinds, and immediately went like, "Oh, this would be a good one to send." So
I think it was a good starter.
yeah.
I think it was.
So well
Which
done,
I
Ty.
should
Well
have
done,
done it
Ian.
after. I should have done it after mine. Okay. Because that 80 proof.
I feel like the repetitive 80 proof thing is a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, it is.
I got you.
If I hadn't seen, I'm going Elijah Craig or straight from the barrel.
Straight from.
That would be good. I hope that's your pick, Ian.
For mine or for Ty's?
You.
Oh
No,
oh.
he's saying what he hoped yours is.
Did Jason give a guess on this? I still think he has to guess every one because he's.
Well, he's
he-
the only one that's gotten one.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to guess, I would say an old. That's not. I'm not really.
Talk us through it.
Well, I'm not proficient on the single barrels. It feels oaky.
Well,
It doesn't feel like Elijah Craig, though. Elijah Craig we have is a little bit too lighter on the front. This is a little more rich, which, unless it's unless it's a 21 or something, but I don't think it's that old. Well,
I want to guess Buffalo Trace.
I'm going to go Elijah Craig
Really?
21, but I don't know.
Wow, Natalie thinks it's 90 proof.
Yeah, a Buffalo Trace single barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right. It's the beauty of the single barrels. Even if it's there's a you can get an off profile single barrel. So that's some of that's the fun. Some stores pick weird off profile stuff on purpose because it doesn't taste like what the bottle says it is.
So I have to question Natalie with that though. It's a single barrel challenge,
Mm-hmm.
and a 90 proof probably won't hold up to most single barrels. And I think Ty would be smarter. Smarter might not be the term, but I don't know if Ty would not think of that and say, I can't throw an 80, 90 proofer in there. So that's why I think Buffalo Trace that makes sense to me, but I think it's got to be a bit more kicked up than that. And I don't know what other single barrel Buffalo Trace would have besides Blanton's.
Well, we did it.
Colonel Taylor.
We did that
Oh.
VIP tasting at the Whiskey Weekend Batch 2, and it just reminded me of the ones that we tasted there at the table from Buffalo Trace.
Oh, so you're talking Colonel Taylor then?
Yeah.
So you're right on there.
Oh yeah,
So she's talking Colonel Taylor.
That
Colonel
makes
Taylor.
a lot more sense because that's 100 proof.
You're talking about Buffalo Trace.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Right.
Yeah. So the ones we tasted were Colonel Taylor.
Oh, I
so.
see.
Yeah, that was those tubes, those fancy tubes Corey's got behind him.
I think you sold me. I'm online with that too.
Oh yeah.
All right. I like it. I give it smelling
Okay, now it's
Jason's.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
Jason.
got a
Which, man, if you color check Jason's, it's light.
it's light.
Really?
I'm like, and did he? I feel like that's our curveball tonight.
So it's not
got a
Ian. It's not
real
Ian cheated.
different nose. Ian, yeah. Podcast at Home, episode 3. Did Jason cheat?
Every week. Who cheated this week?
Whoever won.
I gave you a hint. I kind of had help.
Cheating
Like,
or picking?
Does Natalie know what this one is this time then?
so the help wasn't Natalie.
It was not Natalie.
Oh.
This one's it is completely opposite. There's no fruit at all in that. It's more baking spices and that's no honey. It's more brown sugar than
No
honey.
fruits.
I'm waiting for her to tell her notes so I can guess what the smell is that I'm smelling. I don't. It's familiar, but I just can't.
Say that's lighter, a little more young corn. I did get a little fruit on the nose.
You get any rye on it?
Hold, please.
Yeah.
Need a second taste of that.
I just took a sip of water and I'm wondering if there's some rye to that.
It's light, brother.
Yeah.
It's really light on the mouthfeel. I mean, not that it doesn't exist. It's just it's not like
Right.
some big high proof bourbon.
But I like the finish. I mean, it's a long lingering.
me. I got like apple
Only on the
strudel,
outside. What's that?
kind of like I got like the pastry of apple strudel, like buttery apple cinnamon.
Yeah, I mean, it's when Corey says light, I get light, but with very good flavor. Like
Right, not like last week when we were saying,
Right.
hey, this has no
No.
flavor to it. It's
Right. It's
delicate.
not-
Delicate's a better word than light. Like it's just got a lot of little things going on.
there you go.
The nose is richer than and then the front end, it kind of, like you're saying, it starts off light, but it kind of blossoms, and then it actually kind of keeps going.
I would put this on the
back end a little bit. I taste a little bit of the char on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, Ty?
I'm putting this on the younger side, like 4 or 5 years, maybe 6.
Are those Willet Rye's single barrel, or are they small batch?
This 100% is not Willet Rye.
Is it? I've never tried it. That's why I was.
Yeah, no.
Because I think it's like 4 to 5 years would be my guess. I think you're right. Yeah.
For 3 years.
Oh, are they?
The Willets.
I mean,
I don't get the cinnamon off of that like that. Those Willet single barrels to me have kind of like a cinnamon kind of like punch to them, and this doesn't have that.
And the dill pickle.
Oh, you get lots of dill on them?
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
They're my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. I would take a 6-year Willet single barrel, top 3 all day long.
Have you got into the shuck beans yet with Nate?
We did. Yeah, we cracked it the other night here and did some damage. We did a tasting and then kind of finished the night with that.
Sweet.
It was good. It's a great pit.
Only Willet single barrels I have ever tasted was at Southern Whiskey Society. Like, they do not exist in Kansas. It is not a thing. No store gets a Willet single anything. So I just don't know if there's not enough distributed here that the state is in the program, but I have never once seen a Willet single barrel in the state ever.
Yeah, I was like, I've never gotten one in the state. Like, I've never gotten one in Colorado. All mine have come from other places.
Yeah.
From the
so I get a lot of that back palate on this, like Dixon would say. And I think there's a high rye content in there. That's just maybe I'm crazy. It's probably weeded, but
almost gonna guess weeded.
Really?
I think it's low rye, or yeah. But
I don't know.
I have no clue either. So.
Yeah. Well, every time I smell OWA, I think it's a rye, blind. I'm like, oh, that's a rye. That's a rye. And it's always OWA. So what do I know?
OWA usually has like that little bit of a extra punch to it. But then again, every time you say, oh, it's a single barrel, you kind of have to almost pitch some of your normal expectations out. So
I'm also thinking, like, what does he have? And I have no clue. But
I smelled those grains. Which one of them did I think smelled like horse feed?
This has that?
Do you remember?
I'm going like 90 to 100 proof.
The wheat?
Maybe
Corn.
110.
When I was smelling them at the Sugar House Distillery.
I don't remember.
like that one almost could be the Buffalo Trace single barrel, just because it's not super hot. But some of those I usually get like a little bit of mint kind of thing going at the end, and I'm not getting that on the end of this. But again, that could be a different barrel. So
One's got
no clue.
Good, like traditional bourbon, caramel, vanilla.
Good.
So
I
I'm
have
way
no
off.
guess.
So I'm way off on it then.
To me, I told you my palate's shot already.
Yeah.
So.
Ty's like, everything tastes like trout right now. Trout and campfire. That's what I'm getting on all these notes. Fish and campfire.
Everything tastes like 36 Yinglings in 24 hours. The only guess I would go is Elijah Craig single barrel.
That's not a bad guess.
So I was thinking Elijah Craig because I get that like rye, that like spiciness from rye. I don't like just basic Elijah Craig very much, but I get that similar like dry oaky and some spice to it. But I don't know. That one's weird to me.
So
McKenna? Like I'm not confident in that guess. I think it tastes young. I don't think it tastes either.
But I never think McKenna 10 tastes old.
It's got that oak at the back, like that. I feel like on the finish there's a bit of oak there, and I don't know.
Single barrel rye pick. Ooh, those are what do those come in at? Like 96? Is that what rye's at?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Did you see Jason's face there? Is there a single barrel boo rye though?
Explain the rye.
I do not have a very good.
How? It can't. It's a blend of bourbon and
I
rye.
know, that's...
It, by its very definition, cannot be a single barrel.
Well, maybe he cheated.
It could be a single barrels.
we have readily established that these are more guidelines than they are rules.
Oh, it's like the pirates code, right? Where you're like, we all,
yeah,
or guidelines.
They're not calling it straight. So could they mix it
and call it a single barrel
and re-barrel it? High West gets funky.
Well, and if it's got one of those little tags on it, then it's got to be a single barrel.
High West is like the Canada of the United States.
No,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
High West is like Utah. Like it's Mormon country, so they get away with some stuff.
It's true.
Did you put it? Was there a sticker on it? If there was a sticker on it, it's definitely a single barrel. So no matter what.
Well, they put like medallions on there.
Yeah, they have those fancy medallions.
Oh yeah. I have one of those.
All right. So we're on Corey's, right?
And it looks dark.
Jason's got ours all poured out with the little corn on them.
Ooh, fancy. There's 2 silver plates now.
It doesn't mess around.
I like the way this
Right. That's got some age.
Tobacco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dark.
Chocolate?
What did you say?
Maybe chocolate?
I was gonna say like dark leather too, like that leather, aged leather.
I got major chocolate on the palate.
A little cocoa.
Yeah. Oof. Corey came to play.
It's got some punch in there too. That alcohol right off it.
I really like it. The color's a little bit darker.
It is darker.
Amber.
Boomtown 5.
That would be fun to send you 2 samples of the same thing.
Yeah.
No, not that.
No, it's not the same.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was a Knob Creek single barrel, 14 plus.
Yeah, I was like, I could see it being in that 120 range. It's definitely up from Jason's.
Ooh, that's so good.
If he goes by T-shirts, I wonder if I know what this might be. If it's not.
Yeah, I did do that. That was funny. It's sealed. Yeah, I sent you the hot car special. It was the one that I sent you.
Hey,
Like mine was good. I don't know what they're talking about. Mine was good.
I haven't opened it. It tested well on the blind that everybody did, right?
I'm just saying this because I'm impressed that I get it. But anyone else get a little waxy on the nose? Just, I mean, not in a bad way. It's like
No, that was from your bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Like a waxy kind of.
That's from this.
I get like a waxy cherry.
So this one to me is like Heath Bar. So it's chocolate and toffee.
Exactly. I was gonna say dark like caramel, then I was thinking like creme brulee, like the burnt caramel on top of a creme brulee.
And then oak at the end, like boom, like oak bomb right at the very
With proof.
Mhm.
What proof is that? What do you think that is?
Well, I know what it is. So.
Well, that's what I was asking.
Now I'm trying to with all the chocolate notes. Gosh, that'd be a bold move. That'd be a bold move, Cotton. I'm going like 114 proof.
I was gonna go close to
I'll double down and say
120.
120.
Yeah.
I think it's 120.
I say 114 because there's only one single barrel I know that comes in at 114 on a regular basis.
That is true.
Full proof?
Yeah.
That would be bold.
Oh.
And if that's what it is, you're welcome.
I'm glad I didn't
Thinking
have
like
another half a bottle.
raisins.
This sits
Like
too. This
raisins?
sits on the front of my tongue. It's too far forward to be, in my opinion, a weeder.
No, front of the tongue is weeder.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
The back of the tongue is rye.
I'm tasting dyslexic.
I was like, I get the oak on the back, but I don't get spice on the back.
You all right?
I'm just gonna sit here and drink it because it's
Delicious.
pretty good.
Yeah. It's got legs. It is thick.
Yeah.
Chewy. The nose is great.
Mhm.
I'm glad I didn't put you last.
That taste stays with you. It's really good.
Yeah, it's chewy.
That is whatever that is. That's delicious.
Yeah.
I have no
What about
guess.
Chocolate covered oranges.
Mm.
Like what you get at Christmas time. The orange
too.
candy.
I tried to make an old fashioned that mimicked that last night.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
With your
Fairly.
Cointreau bourbon? With your Cointreau soaked bourbon?
No. I did use Cointreau in it because I didn't have any oranges, but then just cherry and chocolate bitters.
Ooh.
How's the chocolate bitters to you?
You have to use them very lightly.
Yeah, or does it overpower pretty quick? If
Yeah,
sure.
I was like, I've got the Woodford ones, and I mean, normally I'm super heavy-handed with bitters, but with the chocolate bitters, it's like 4 drops is about max.
You know, we don't really keep bitters in the house because Jason doesn't like bitter. But I think that would be something I would really enjoy, would be to learn about bitters.
Mhm.
I love
You-
Amaro, like the bitter liqueurs and things.
With your nose, Nat,
Yeah.
you as a mixologist would be fascinating to me just because of that was one of the, when we went to Old Forester, one of the things they do at the end of the tour is you go into like their little speakeasy bar, right? They make you a drink, and the woman that was our bartender was fantastic. So Kim's not a huge bourbon girl, so she was like, well, I typically like something a little sweeter, a little fruity. So she started asking her questions like, well, you don't drink bourbon, so what do you drink? She's like, well, I like gin. She's like, and I like think, well, what do you like about it? So she's asking her questions.
Wow.
She starts pulling ingredients and like smacking them on her hand and be like, here, smell this, like this smell like something. So it was mind blowing. And then she pulls like 5 or 6 ingredients and made her a custom drink. None of it was bourbon. And she was like, here you go, try that. What do you think? And it just like blew her mind.
That is amazing.
So
Wow.
yeah,
that was at Old Forester.
Mm-hmm. That was really cool just because, I mean, somebody that really understands how a drink works like that, to be able to ask those questions and then start waving different scents and things in front of someone. She's like, okay, well, I know what your palate's like now. I can make you a drink. I was super impressed. She got a fantastic tip from the group. It was great.
That's really neat.
It's like, if you ever get a chance, there's a speakeasy in Vegas, a speakeasy inside a bar in Vegas, which I think is hilarious. But it seats like 12 people. It's called the Laundry Room. And like, you have to get like a clothespin a lot of times with the phone number to get your reservations. And it's like behind a poster inside this bar. It's crazy, but it's the same thing. Like, they have a menu, but you're highly encouraged not to order off the menu. And you just sit down and talk to the bartender and say, this is what I like. I like bourbon, but I like this and this and this flavors. And he's like, okay. And so every drink is different, and it's incredible.
Really fun.
That'd be amazing.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good place. He's also got a beard that's like as tall as Natalie.
Oh my God. That's funny.
Oh, Ian's comparison shopping now for the camera.
And, all right, let's try Ian's 80 proofer here.
So while I was digging through my stuff, I found when you become the High West Adventure Club, or I can't remember what it is. They give you these little books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually using it. So now I'm actually, it's working. I can't verbalize what I'm saying, but I can show you in my diagram.
Sweet.
I was like,
I think this qualifies you for a merit badge or a pin or something for sure.
I'll just call it.
you get another tin coffee cup.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got
We
your
get
whiskey video series coffee cup.
We have those.
Yeah. I used my High West notebook when I did the 12 Days of Christmas thing.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, that's you.
That was where I took all my notes.
I need some.
didn't I
coffee
send you one of those,
beans to
Ian? In one of
clear
one
my
of the one of the few care packages that never, maybe it didn't.
What, a notebook? I got a.
No,
I
the
got-
High West coffee mug.
Yeah, I got the mug.
Cool.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
forget who I sent what. So
I got some cool, like really thick tumblers that look like they're whiskey bottles cut in half.
the Wyoming whiskey ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I got one of
Those
those
are
High West
super
ones. Yeah,
I do
love
owe you
those.
some of the small ones. I love
It was
those.
like, that's what I drank my pregame out of, was that High West cup from Whiskey Weekend. Only because I walked into my office and it was the first time I had been in here since last week when we did this.
Oh,
All my cups were still dirty and I was like, oh, I can't drink out of the SOB cup this week.
That's sticky, Ian. You have to
Yeah.
finish on that.
It smells hot.
No, it's 80 proof.
I can't really get something on the nose.
How do you say liar in Canadian?
it's very hot.
I think it's Liar, but I'm not positive.
Eh?
You know what's funny? It's the exact. This is probably the 180 out of mine. This punches you off really hard in the front and then tails off.
And it tails off.
Where mine builds. This is the exact opposite.
I'm not able to figure out the nose on this.
Peppery,
Yeah,
like pepper.
Very peppery, very.
that's got some like pine on the finish. Ian with his curveballs, man.
Mm.
I was. Oh wow! I do like it. Slightly astringent. I feel it.
Yeah.
What do you think the proof is?
80.
go 20.
Rye on this.
I'm just getting pure alcohol.
It's weird to get rye on the nose, but it.
Did you say pure alcohol in the nose?
I don't get that.
It is.
I get very spicy.
Really?
Yeah, hot spice. Yeah.
There is a lot on there.
Honestly, if you were to tell me that you double backed and you did ain't half bad, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's not a bad.
Really?
I think this drink's way lighter.
That's true.
Here
Guess
than
what? I was
Knob Creek.
very high, very punchy and spicy, and then tails. I was expecting like a Stag Junior Whirlwind, but it really tailed off fairly quickly.
Like the heat is what's left when it's done, though.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of finish. It's more heat than finish.
That
And
second
pepper.
drink was way better.
It's true.
It's still got that. Man, there is some sort of weird pine note on the very finish.
So what I hear you saying is we got to go
that-
back. We got to go back and finish all of these.
That was the dirty glass. It's okay.
It could be. It could be. I get like double bubble, or like what's the zebra fruit gum?
I used to love that gum.
Yeah, like that's what I get, and then it's like
The
this.
fruity zebra fruit.
Yeah.
By the way, which also had a very short finish. You chewed it for like 2 seconds
I
and
know.
all the taste went
It's
away.
like,
But this
Zebra
one-
fruit gum is my new finish statement now. It's like zebra fruit gum.
I-
You choose and
I don't get any pepper on this at all. Nat.
I get this peppery spice on the.
I
I
think
mean,
it's
I'm just getting char.
That's
char?
what I'm getting at the end is barrel char.
Really.
Mhm.
Maybe that's the pine note I'm picking up. There's a weird note right at the end.
It just hits really hard and then tails off. And now the third sip, that heat is lingering right in the back of my throat.
That's a good pour.
You can play
I'm
the
thinking like
games.
lemon.
Play the games.
It's sour a little bit.
Yep. Well, that's the where I talk about like the char at the end. Like that's the to me that's the.
I think this is proof.
This sits. It's like the astringent. It dries
That
out.
80 proof. You guys can't handle it.
Smells so hot.
Ian's like having his own like press official who's out to like spin the press conference as it's happening. I love it.
You need to like fake tan.
It's got a little
orange
kerosene,
next time.
pine sol.
Pine sol.
I'm kidding.
She saved the pine sol note for if you ever get a kick. You should give them your notes on the Johnny Walker.
Oh no, white.
Right?
The
Which
White
one?
Walker. The White
Pure
Walker.
Oh.
Johnny Walker,
kerosene.
White Walker.
Pure kerosene. No, not kidding.
I was like the my
She got Lysol and kerosene.
Oh god.
tasting notes when I accidentally inhaled that Eagle Rare. Gasoline, like a cactus in your face.
Yeah. Those are great.
Aggressive.
This may be 125 plus.
It
Oh,
could
come on.
I don't know. I don't get a lot of nose, and the
barrel.
finish is kind of sour and charry and angry for me.
It falls off so quickly. though. I wouldn't-
Corey's also lobbying
I
right
could
now.
be wrong, but
I don't have to lobby. Mine already won, but
I was like, he doesn't have to lobby right now.
No.
There's a phase in this that I love,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like a small phase in the middle, like from where it drops off, falls off the cliff, and just before it hits the ground,
like it.
it's perfect.
That's that friendship. He's like, I like you, but then there's that knife in the back. It's
No,
like,
no, it's like it's very short, but there's in the whole journey, there's a little spot that like that's great, stick around, and then it just kind of disappears.
why don't you add
Right.
some water?
Yeah, and I get that on the front end is this like, there's this like caramel sweetness,
Yeah.
it's wonderful, and then all of a sudden it like, oh, this just took a turn.
Yeah, you get through the forest of spice, and then you get just to see this beautiful caramel, and then you fall off the cliff.
Yeah,
it's like everything after the third season of The Walking Dead. You're like, are we just watching the same shit again?
That's it.
This is the same show. Like everyone dies. I'm not happy about this. Why am I watching this? It's depressing. All right. Time to tally the votes, peeps.
Are we voting? All right.
Yep, where the rubber meets the road. All right.
Oh, hold on.
In order of pours.
I think so. Which would put Ty up first for the votes.
And go last to first. Gosh,
Correct.
now I gotta think a little more. I'm going Ian fourth.
Mm.
It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. I don't know what to do with it.
Wow.
I'm going Jason third. It was very just bourbon, like standard bourbon for me. Mine second, Corey one.
Okay. Chisholm.
Oh, so I will. I'll echo the Ian and fourth.
I
Okay.
expect nothing less.
Come on. So I'm going to say with a caveat that I could see that most people would pick Ty second.
Uh-huh.
Because of my not as much of a fan of oak, I chose Ty third but I completely expect to be the only one to do this. It's not gamesmanship. My personal taste is me
That's okay.
second, and then of course Corey first.
Okay. Now,
I'm in the same order. Ian fourth, Ty third, Jason second, and you first.
okay. And then I have Ian fourth, Jason third, Ty second, me first. Which leaves Team
Ian's
Canada.
got the swing vote.
I was like, that does mean there's a.
So Ian's like, I'm first.
You should, man. I don't blame you.
No, I'm not going to be last though, because Jason, you definitely took that for me. It was I kind of found it flat in the middle. I love the finish on it, and I'm so curious to find out what it is. I'll go third. Ty, I think if you had proof, I think if yours had proof, it would match it. But I just think the proof of Corey's just smacked it around a bit, and Corey's won.
So you went.
Right.
You went Jason 4, you 3, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Making
So
sure.
now that's
That's sealed it though. No tiebreaker.
No,
yeah,
no.
exactly.
So
All right.
let's see what you guys hate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evened up.
I didn't hate it. Like I said, I kind of.
I didn't
hate it.
Oh,
It's
shut
fine.
up! Let's
I
hear.
love you, man.
Yeah, don't save face because I'm nice and Canadian. Tell me what you really think.
It's not last, it's fourth, as we always say.
So Jason, what do you think it is?
Don't know. I really don't know.
Take a wild guess.
Straight from the barrel.
Blanton's?
Yeah.
I do not think it's that.
If it was that, it would have definitely rivaled.
Hey, you told me
Corey's.
to take a guess. I knew it wasn't a good one.
Yeah.
Something
Okay,
Canadian.
old Elijah Craig barrel proof B518.
Single barrel.
Not single barrel.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm 0-3, so I give up.
I was like, I have no clue. All right, let's see it.
Jack Daniels.
Oh!
What
I
is
al-
that?
Jack
all-
Daniels barrel proof, single
Yeah.
barrel.
Good.
That's
Good.
almost where I was with that, Ian. I chickened out.
What's the proof on that?
It is
Like 130?
64.5%. It doesn't have the proof because it's a import. It's only a 70 CL, which is sad.
So 64.5 is like 129. 129.
Well, 0.5, yeah, 129.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's right up there. I was bored after I picked under 90, so I
No,
felt like
it has.
bringing some heat to it.
It had Jack Daniels barrel proof notes, and I chickened down on it because normally on those I get a little bit of banana, like somewhere in there on those Jack Daniels products, and I got none of that.
I got none of it on it as well. And so we were chatting the other day, and I saw your Jack Daniels barrel proof was pretty low, and I'm like, are we gonna have the same thing on a single barrel pick? Because that would be hilarious. But,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure yours, unless you got a really good barrel, that's not that.
I've got 3 Jack Daniels single barrels, and they are
Yeah.
all good. But I've had, so I'll say that they're all good. And like, I'll absolutely drink the one that you sent. But like,
Well, for
we
sure,
we had
yeah.
one that got spiked in there that was just like fall over dead great. And I think that's the thing is they've all been really
Yeah.
good. But man, you hit some of them every once in a while. That's just
I'm pretty sure the ones
Honey
that we
barrel.
got were just like, let's send it up there.
send it to Canada.
Yeah, but the guy, like the Dad's Drinking Bourbon guys and Scotch Test Dummies, if you guys follow them,
Oh, yeah.
they rave about this
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
And
I do
I
too.
got this
That's good.
bottle, cracked it, and I'm like, it's good, but I doubt all. It has the proof. If you guys were like on to proof, it would do well. But like Nat was just getting pure alcohol and
I
Yeah.
have one
no
over there,
notes
too.
to
We
it.
have
So
one. Love
yeah.
it.
So we've had a couple of them that are that, Ian, that are just they're hot, like, and they run hot, and then
Yeah.
other ones that have just been like this whole banana bread kind of thing. That's
Yeah, I
just
got no
it's great.
banana on it, and I like that
Yeah.
Yeah,
banana
me neither. I didn't get a
in
lot
it.
of
So yeah.
Next time we'll send you. We'll keep, or next time I find a great one, we'll,
That's like-
we'll,
Oh, dude,
we'll
yeah.
pour it up and mail it to you.
Let me know.
Banana peel.
Reese has been raving about him for 2 months.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
They're
I like.
good.
I can't get behind him yet. I haven't found.
So I wonder, Ty, you had that weird pine note. I wonder if that's the double filtration, double whatever that
Charcoal
Jack
filtered?
does. Charcoal filtered.
I have-
That's it.
That's-
I
I
wonder
have
if
one here. We'll have to see if we compare them.
Like-
Oh, they coal filter?
Yeah, I was like,
Tennessee.
and charcoal
Lincoln
filter.
County? Lincoln
Yeah,
County?
Lincoln County. Yeah, they run it through charcoal.
I was like, I have a local Colorado pick that was the best Jack Daniels I've ever tried, but I still don't think it's great.
holds up.
Yeah, it's still like underwhelming to me. So.
We're gonna run a Jack single barrel just because it's for some of the people here to get them to
It'll sell.
experiment with higher proof stuff to be like you don't know this Jack Daniels, and that'll be a chance for them to try that and then
So
run them other
like
places.
the bottle is worth buying alone.
I know,
Like,
it's
it's a
cool. Yeah.
killer. It's a killer bottle. It's
Yeah.
it's packaged great. Like it's a fun pour. I'm gonna pour it for a bunch of my buddies, and they're gonna not.
The
choke.
ones that are single barrel
Yeah.
picks come with a cool little medallion thing on them.
Yeah.
that, like, put the name of the pick on and stuff. It's
So-
super sweet.
Comes in a nice box as well. Like it's a well done package. But I kind of threw it in there mainly because of the hype around it, and I was
Yeah.
curious to see how well it did blind. So
Well done.
it
I
was,
love it a lot.
yeah, I do like it. That's why that's why I beat Jason in,
Yeah.
in my tasting.
Well,
All right, Jason, you're next.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I knew I really liked this one, and I knew after I sent it, I knew it didn't have a chance because of the proof, and you proof hounds would eat it alive. I still think it's a better palate than Ian's, but hey, we'll just leave it there.
You know, you're probably right. I just suck at this.
Was there any guesses?
Oh,
I was like, I'd still stick with Elijah Craig. but-
Laser Craig sounds all right to me, but I don't know. I just didn't. I couldn't lock it in any. Or I actually got some McKenna notes on there, Jason, but I don't know that that's accurate
So
either.
this is pretty interesting. This was one of the Whiskey Weekend Batch 1 finds, and it's the Wathen single barrel.
There's the young corn.
And
yeah,
it is the best part about this is the help I got was it was picked by the Bearded Dram.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
that makes sense with the youth. Yep.
I have not had a Watkins that I enjoyed yet.
Really?
So I liked that. It wasn't my favorite for this selection though, but
yeah.
Ian had. Didn't you pick up a Wathens when we were at Southern
So
Whiskey Society?
So that story is great. I bought the Wathens from Turok because I didn't want to go into sort of drink and not buy anything. It was like 10:30 a.m. I drove for 24 hours to get there, it felt like, and I'm drinking. I'm like, oh, okay, what's your favorite pick? And he's like, I'm sure he's just like, let's offload this the Wathens picks. I'm like, done. Like, whatever. I take it back to the Airbnb, and we crack it, and I'm like, oh, this smells great. And I took a sip. I'm like, no, this doesn't. This was horrible. It was like hay and grass, and I get some of that on that. That's I think that rye. I thought it was high rye because I get that
Yeah.
like hay and grassy note to it, and that makes a lot of sense. But no, it's
But in
not that-
addition to that story, I have that bottle.
There it is. Yeah. That's awesome. And I see you haven't loved
Haven't
it.
drank any
No,
of
I
it
haven't touched
either.
This is for you. This is my penance.
Oh, yes.
Bottle
Yes.
This is all sweet, and no, at least this one, I would give him that. Is it has that complexity in the back end for 90 proof and young.
Okay, I was going to
That
say,
one's great.
90 proof.
nailed
94, 94.
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I feel
94
good
proof.
about that at least.
It's just too sweet, and there's not a lot to it. It's just straight up sweet.
Yeah.
It's like corn syrup.
Yeah.
It really is like corn syrup.
So I remember we were having butter tarts at the Airbnb.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, this smells like a butter tart. And then I tasted it, and I'm like, it does not taste like a butter tart at all. It's horrible. So
Yeah, that doesn't have any burn at all.
It's
yeah.
like all of those Wathens, I get that.
But
I'd rather drink mellow corn. No
That's true.
advertisement,
That's true.
but like
Oh.
it
Yeah.
for the flavor profile. I'm like, I'll take a $14 100 proofer any day.
All right, Ty. I see you hiding a bottle on the counter over there. What you got, bud?
True, I almost flashed it during part of this. So this is an Old Scout pick.
Oh,
It's a 5-year MGP. It's just shy of 120.
really?
Yeah, so 119.4.
Wow, I guessed 104 to
Wow.
107.
I did not think it was that
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, so it's an MGP pick.
Is it a store pick, a specific store pick, Ty?
Well, so it's our local Colorado Bourbon and Rye Collectors Group did a barrel. They actually did sister barrels, so we got 2 of them, and this was the better one of the 2. But yeah, so it's younger than it drinks for sure. It's higher proof than it drinks. But like I said, I cracked it. I was like, man, I haven't had a lot of Old Scout stuff, but that one's good.
And is it's the blue label, so does it come in at like 100 and something proof normally, and then it's hotter because it's single barrel, or are you sure?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know enough about Old Scout, so
I don't either. We've had a couple of the store picks roll through Lucas, and got to try one of them, and it was pretty good. So
I mean, the key with Old Scout, I know, is checking whether it's Indiana or Tennessee.
so you don't get Dickel store pick, you get the MGP store pick.
Yeah, because the Dickel is not good.
We have one up here
Vitamins and butter.
We have one up here that's both Dickel and MGP blended, I guess. And
Really?
I'm staying away from it. It says it's both. Yeah.
That's
So
great.
maybe they labeled it wrong. They don't know what they're doing up here, but it says from Tennessee and Indiana. So
They're covering all their bases, Ian. They're just making sure that it doesn't matter. It's fine.
it's only the 50 proof one, so I bailed on it.
Yeah,
50%. Sorry.
yeah, I was like, I tried. What was the other Old Scout I had? It's the blend one they had.
Sorry, keep going.
No, it's the one with the elephant on the label. Contradiction. And it was average for sure.
I thought this was Four Roses. Like just
So did I.
that mouthfeel, and like I was like, man, this brings me right back to that whiskey weekend drinking those picks.
It's got to be their like mid rye. I don't think it's the 36 proof rye that Belmead is. Like, I think it's got to be that in between MGP distillate. But yeah. All right, champion.
Well, let's see what it is.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So this is Boomtown 1.
There it is.
Yeah.
Knob Creek. It is just short of 14 years old. 144 bottles total. Super America sticker. The first one that we picked, we didn't realize until we got multiples of them deep that the first one that we picked was like really, really, really stinking good. Like we got like a magic barrel. Maybe up until Boomtown 5 was the first time that we picked one that someone was like, well, that and 1 are pretty close together. I still think 1 is still my favorite.
That was a good pick.
I think it's the best thing that we've ever picked, and we just got lucky. So yeah, it was 2004, selected on in 2018, and by the time it got barreled up, it was by the time it actually got into bottles, it was over 14 years old. So 144 of them, and they vaporized, and we sold 144 bottles, put them on the shelf when the liquor store opened at 10, and they were sold out by 1. So,
wow.
It's really special. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, what a great and the winner.
Yeah, I've got two bottles left, 1.5 left. So I opened that bottle to send that one out. So but I've got the last one. So that's kind of my gig, is like I'll help Hoopy market them and make all the stickers and everything for them. But I've got all the last bottles. So we hand number the stickers. So I've got all the ones that are like,
over on that one. I think we should resend some new ones.
Yeah, we should send some more of that. So I've got all the ones labeled like 144 out of 144 and stuff like that. So I've got all the quote last of all of them. And one day I'll probably drink all of them anyway, but they're all up there. The one that we had at Southern Whiskey Society was Boomtown 2, and that one's even older. That's 15 years and change. It was super oaky.
So I remember that one, and I was like, this isn't that.
No.
Like that one was oaky and
super
old,
oak bomb. Yeah. And it tasted dusty. Like it was like
It's got an amazing richness to it that I just absolutely love.
So that one was the one that was short barreled, and then never even made the liquor store because once it got in, there was only 72 bottles, and we just bought every single one of those son of bitches and called it good. The club just
I should know that anytime I get raisin or prune or something like that, that it's like a 14-year or
or Canadian with port and
or Canadian cheating. Yeah, that's or
some kind of mutated shit.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right. So maybe this was the one where I cheated because I had like 6 club barrel picks to choose from in addition to other single barrels.
So Corey said to me probably late VBN one night, and he's like, there's one that nobody's ever tried before. And I was like, it's either Boom whiskey or the single barrel. So I'm guessing this was that one.
Nope, but that's well, technically yes, but we'll see.
That was my problem. Is all my best
thanks
stuff
for
y'all have already tried.
Thanks for answering that, Corey.
No problem, buddy. You haven't tasted Boom whiskey either, but that's okay. I'm interested to see what everyone thinks of it too. So.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
All right, so up next we've got rye, and that's it. That's the only rule, rye, that's dangerous.
So
only because Ian's in the group, and so that could get very.
Come on.
We didn't infinity this yet. Do we need to infinity this before we officially shut everything out? Oh, you did. How is the infinity?
Crown Royal Peach. It's a rye again.
It is. It's got rye in it.
Glorious. I love that bad boy.
Yeah, Crown Royal Peach is great, Jason.
It's good.
It's glorious.
It's in high demand for some reason, but
there is a crazy Crown Royal collector group on Facebook that I was a part of.
Oh yeah.
And I have a bottle from the maybe late 80s of Crown Special Reserve, and it means nothing to me, but it's worth a couple hundred American. So I'm trying to figure out how to trade it. So I joined this group, and I'm like, what is happening? The Crown Peach that they're like freaking out about makes a lot of sense. And I said about just for you.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. It's what I appreciate about you, Ian.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
That doesn't smell bad at all. I think we might have something going here. All right, everybody send everyone their bottles. We're going to dump them all into one.
I was going to say, Ian's nose came through. There's some heat.
Well, I helped Jason's out. I said out just for you as well.
Out.
You do realize he beat you, right?
No, not in my mind. I voted him fourth. He put Wathens out there. Come on. I'm kidding.
And I still took third.
I know.
Thanks, Bearded Dram. Beard Dram, a pathetic performance.
The Infinity is not my favorite of all of them.
No.
But
well, you have to say that. Yours won.
I know I have to say that.
Yeah, no, it's not. The sum is not better than its parts.
No.
I'm just drinking Corey's because it's best.
You've always been my favorite. That's fine.
So rye is Ty's category.
That's his favorite.
And let's just
my favorite. I did not send my favorite rye.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about your pick though?
It'll hold up. It may be a 2 or 3 spot depending on
what's out there.
I'm hoping no one else put Kentucky Out Batch 1 in there because.
Wait, you poured that as well?
I thought about it.
Whoa.
I thought about it.
I had to empty the bottle that Nat had signed for this.
Oh, that's not That's not open yet.
Let's
Jason.
let's not act like that's a thing. That's
I
funny.
know.
Come
we know
on.
you.
All right.
We know you too well, Jason.
Riot is next week. All right. So we don't know Jack, but will Infinity it? Close enough.
We'll vote it last.
From first to last, I can only go up from here.
First, you're last. Welcome to my world.
Last.